I just had a customer drop off a block of knives and we've got a big problem. Bolster droop, big time. These German knives have a full bolster. And if all you do is sharpen it, guess what? The heel of the blade won't even touch the cutting board. You're gonna have a big old gap in there. And we have a ton of new friends joining the Get Sharp channel. So we're going back to basics today and we're doing bolster maintenance. This blade also has a ton of scuffs on it. So I need some really crisp before and after photos for my website. So I'm trading refinishing for a Hinkles logo. All right, let's grind. Before we go any further, I want to make sure we clearly define what bolster droop is. So I had AI assist me with an extremely exaggerated illustration of what the problem is. The problem is where the bolster droops down so low, the area of the blade between the bolster and the belly of the blade don't even touch the cutting board. We need to correct this. So you can already see how that bolster's hanging low right there. And I always try to grind that down before I start reprofiling. I always use an old worn out belt and I go back and forth so I'm not just tearing up one area of my belt, moving back and forth nice and slow. All that crud on the side of the edge there, that's just from, it was just hanging out, shavings hanging out in the water. It's magnetized, of course, so it's stuck to the blade as I'm working here. We're starting to get to the point now where our bolster's pretty close to being in line where it needs to be. But we're gonna be stuck with a big old fat square bottom, very unsightly. And usually what I'll do is I'll go a little, I'll bring the bolster up just a hair higher than the cutting edge because we still need to sharpen the blade. And when we sharpen the blade, we're gonna be bringing the cutting edge up higher. There's that big old square edge I was telling you about. So this is what we're gonna correct next. So we're gonna focus on the square edge of the bolster. I need some better before and after photos for my website. So this is just a photo to show you how scratched up this thing was. We're gonna have to sacrifice that logo though. There's just really no way around it at the moment. This portion of the belt sander has no platen under it. And you can use this to your advantage to get a nice convex grind. And what I'll do is I'll use the grain lines of the blade or the previous grind lines to square up to the belt. And I'll start kind of low and then just twist the blade up and you get a nice convex grind. And you can see I'm quickly ridding that square bolster edge. You got to be careful of your handle when you're doing this. Some knives, the handle is a lot closer to the bolster, but even here, you can see I made a little mistake, but we're going to address that. Just take your time. Got a nice rounded bottom now. It's my opinion, every 2-inch machine absolutely must have some of these reconditioning belts. These are non-woven nylon belts and they work, they're magical. What they can do, they put a beautiful satin finish. And first thing I'm doing here is you can see I was kind of focused on that mess up spot I did on the handle, scuffed it up a bit. But this is the spot where I cover my tracks. I put some, pretty unsightly scratches on the bolster. And now we're gonna just completely rid those.
And also, this is where I'll get rid of most of the scratches on my customer's knife. I'm also going to end up rubbing that logo off. It's very important you explain that to people before you do any kind of finishing work here. The results are absolutely beautiful. This blade turned out really, really nice. Be very mindful of heat. These belts generate a lot of heat, so be careful with the amount of pressure you use. Notice where I start my grind. I'm off to the side of the bolster a little bit, and that's very important. Quick illustration, red line, you want to stay to the left of it. Here's why. So the bolster has a much thicker cross-sectional geometry than the primary blade. If you carry your sharpening stroke directly into the bolster, the abrasive will create an exaggerated bevel height. This creates a flared, inconsistent aesthetic. It looks terrible. It's not professional. Before you start sharpening, examine the geometry of the blade in this area and set in your mind your limits. When using my 2-inch machine for sharpening, I like to use these MagnaPeak belts. This is grit 120. The abrasive is ceramic. It's extremely hard material, and boy, does it cut fast. Now that we got our apex on the ceramic belts, it's time to refine that edge, that bevel. This is grit 600, edge trailing. And it does produce a burr, but I'm surprised at how easy the burr comes off when using edge trailing. Edge leading, I get a smaller burr, but a more stubborn one. And our finished product, look at that.
We're doing a giveaway in this video. Hang around another minute and I'll tell you how to enter this profile. Holy cow. It's amazing to me that I'm able to produce this type of work on these blades. Bolster Droop, goodbye, it's gone. We did it all on the KSAG 2. This is not on the market yet, this 2-inch angle guide, but it will be eventually. One special thing here. I grit 120 on the MagnaPeak ceramic belt. Boom, get a burr really fast. Then jump over to grit 600 on silicon carbide. And for whatever reason, the burr is just barely hanging on. So for the second time ever, I hit the kangaroo strop. Look at this. I don't understand what's happening here, but my protocol is cut in half now, which is absolutely incredible from a business profitability standpoint. So I need to start looking into what the heck is going on here. And yeah, I don't know if this will become a permanent thing or not, but those MagnaPeak belts, they work fast and they last a long time. I've put at least 100 knives on that thing and it's still holding super strong. Giveaway time. Oh yeah, we got the KSAG 5, the world's best angle guide for the 1x30 sharpening system. Whether you have a Weaver, a buck tool, a KFMK, a Rikon, this thing fits almost all of them. I'm sure here's the thing. putting my foot in my mouth here to enter. What's the one thing that happened to you during sharpening where you almost just walked away from it forever? I'll tell you mine. The Piranha Excalibur. Yep, that wound is now healed, but I took a dagger to the finger just a month ago. And yeah, anyways, what's your nightmare experience during sharpening? Comment below. I'll post mine as well. Number 2, join the Sharpeners Discord. I'll put a link down below. Why? 2 reasons. It's the coolest, most informative place on the internet for all things sharpening related, whether you're getting into it, you're a professional. We've got people that cover the entire spectrum and it's super active. People are in there right now just chatting away, having a good time. Once you're in there though, number 3, you gotta DM me your YouTube username. This way, when we do the drawing at the end of the month, if I pull your name, I have a way to contact you, get that mailing address and ship it to you.